When the Ten of Wands shows up, TikTok has also gone down a little bit because that one's really heavy and big and life-changing. Let's make the other ones a little bit lighter. Hey sunshine! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I previously made videos almost exclusively about bullet journaling, but going forward, in the spirit of spring cleaning, spring changes, I'll be adding a little bit more lifestyle content as well as different styles of planning, like using Notion and digital tracking systems, as well as bullet journaling still, and hopefully some more witchy content too, maybe a little bit of tarot reading. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe. Happy to have you here. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a monthly reset for April. This whole monthly reset routine thing is a little bit new to me. I would normally have a reset, not a reset, but just planning to do in my bullet journal for the month. But today I have a couple different things I need to do. I have some reviews and planning in Notion. I have some reviews and planning in my bullet journal, and just some general sort of house cleaning, life admin stuff to do. So let's get into it. I just received some mail this morning. It is some new jewelry, so I thought maybe we could just open that up. What's a better way to reset than change your jewelry? At the same time, I'm also burning out this candle. It's a very wintry, foresty smell, which I absolutely love, obviously for fall and winter time, but it's almost done and I want to use it up because I would love to buy a new floral spring scent. So let's open this and see what's inside. This is in no way sponsored, by the way. I just have shopped for body jewelry from this store online for a couple years and I like their stuff. I think they source from a lot of places, so I can't attest to their quality. Everything will be different depending on what you order, but I like everything I've got so far. And this is cute because it actually gives you a little gauge card. I actually lost my nose ring while I was away on vacation. Not only that, but it was always the wrong size. My nose piercing is actually a little bit bigger than the average size. And so I decided to obviously replace what I lost and at the same time get a slightly bigger gauge. So this is my new nose ring. It's very simple. It's very cute. The other thing about these two little star pieces, that's because a couple weeks ago I made the decision to take the gauges out of my ears and let them close up. Actually have healed relatively well. Obviously they're not back to a normal earring size yet, so these are slightly larger than a normal earring size, but I think because they have the thick back, they should stay in either way. So let's just get real close to my face for a second. This is just a temporary piercing that I put in while I was away on vacation. It's fine. It is also a little bit too small for this piercing. It's an 18 gauge and I'm pretty sure my nose is a 16 gauge. So it is very loose and I'm always worried about losing it. So I'm going to trade it out for that new ring. And there we go. New ring. It feels so much better. The last ring that I had, the one that I lost while I was on vacation, was also 18 gauge. So it was also loose and that's also probably why I lost it. So this feels a lot better. And then goes well with my septum, which is like perpetually crooked, but c'est la vie. So I would show you how the little stars turned out, but turns out I was quite wrong about how much my ears have actually closed up. I thought it was a ton because they looked really small. Yeah, those earrings are still way too small and will fall right through my gauges. So that won't work. All right, let's get into some of the actual bullet journal planning. Samhain Tarot, this is important because I review the card that I pulled for every month at the beginning of the month. So we're at the beginning of April, I drew the 10 of Wands. This is my tarot set, I love it. It is the Raven's Prophecy Tarot by Maggie Stiefvater, who's also my favorite author. Let's pull the 10 of Wands, take a look at it, and I'll read out what it means. As you can see, I wrote out the keywords of burden, responsibility, and completion. Maggie Stiefvater writes, well, that was tough. When the 10 of Wands shows up, you've just worked hard to finish something, and now you find yourself looking at the results of that completion. Part of you is delighted. It's satisfying to be done, finally, to have finished something you set out to do. But part of you is weary. It was hard work, and now you realize that it's going to take even more work to maintain what you have. Celebration is the furthest thing from your mind. The 10 of Wands might be urging you to seek help, more hands to make for lighter labor, and in this case, maybe all you need to improve your life is another set of shoulders to help carry the weight of responsibility. It could also be reminding you that creativity is about beginnings and endings and then beginnings again. It can be hard to let go of something you've worked so hard on for so long, but this card can be a reminder that it's time to let go and start the cycle over again. The elk on the card hangs its head with the weight of responsibility. It's strong enough to hear it. if that is what the elk chooses. But just a toss of its head could reignite the world with the fire still burning on its antler tips. When you see the Ten of Wands, you have to decide whether you need to maintain what you have made or begin all over again. So having read that, yeah, that fits exactly with how I'm feeling right now. In all honesty, the beginning of this week was very different than how I'm feeling right now, and I actually do have a video coming out next week on more details about that and how I've been feeling a little bit lost lately. So more on that next week, but in the meantime, let's move on with our reset. So goals progress spread. If you haven't seen my quarterly planning video, I actually have migrated all of this to another page in my journal. So honestly, this one's probably going to get abandoned as it is. First quarter plan also kind of got abandoned near the end here because I completely redesigned it for the second quarter. And again, that's in that same video. So milestones, we can do this. This is my YouTube subscriber count. So for the end of March, it is actually exactly the same as it was. So Instagram's gone up a bit, 3,549 followers. Perfect. So for Patreon, I actually count dollar amount instead of people because different patrons pay different amounts. So it's easier to count the dollars than the humans, if that makes sense, just for the sake of the chart. And it has dropped a little, so it is actually at 120. That's all right. I do find that Patreon tends to go up and down like that. TikTok has also gone down a little bit. It's at 892. So for the Etsy shops, you'll see I have number up here because I'm actually counting the number of sales because again, each sale is sort of a different dollar amount. So for the sake of the chart, it's easier to count the number of sales. In this shop, we have 82. Obviously, getting 2 sales in a month is not incredible, and that's actually part of the conversation I was having with myself and also with you in the video that you'll see next week. As for my second Etsy shop, it's actually kind of crushing, kind of doing great. I'm really happy with it, and it's a lot of fun. If you didn't already know, it's for Twitch graphics. So if you're a Twitch streamer, I design graphics that you can apply to your stream like emotes and panels and overlays and stuff like that. It's a small shop still, but I'm working on adding a lot more. So let's move on. All right, health is still good for the first 6 months of the year, so we're gonna just leave that as it is. I have nothing to add. Media, I actually did create a new page in the center of the book in my quarterly planning video because I was afraid it would fill up too quickly and I wanted more space. And that's it for this. So let's actually flip forward to April. So this is weirdly out of chronological order because I actually filled in these moon phases in the video that you're going to see next week. So I did a little bit of the setup here, just moon phases, and as you can see, I added the tarot in here as my reminder to keep that lesson in mind throughout the month. Here, books is blank, so our next job is to pick what books I'll read through the month. This year, I aim to read 1 fiction and 1 nonfiction per month. I'll be honest with you, I did not like either of the books that I read in March. So I'm hoping to pick some better ones for April. So let's jump into Notion and take a look at my library. This is my Notion library. My Notion workspace is still under construction and I will be giving a tour, but not just yet. So this is what I have so far for a library. A lot of it is adapted from other templates and then adjusted to my own needs. So if you scroll down to the bottom here, I have my bookshelf. I actually want to hide that title. It's a new ability in Notion to be able to hide the database title. There we go. Honestly, so much cleaner. These are some of the books I'm thinking about reading. Checked off at the bottom are books I've already read. So what I want to do is pick a fantasy and also pick a self-development book. For fantasy, I'm thinking Practical Magic. I'll just set that to reading. As for self-development, I'm not sure. I have heard great things about Getting Things Done by David Allen. I'm also really interested in this Effortless book, which I heard about from Matt D'Avella on YouTube. If you don't watch Matt D'Avella's videos, you should. He's hilarious and also has amazing lessons on productivity and stuff. Let's go with Effortless because the subtitle is Make It Easier to Do What Matters Most. I feel like one of my toxic traits is that I just overcomplicate everything. I love the idea that I could actually make things a little bit easier for myself, especially during this time of sort of transition, and I'm making a lot of changes in my life and to my workflow and career. So let's go with this one. I think I need to purchase it from Audible. I think it's still just sitting on my wish list, but I have credits, so it should be fine. I should finish the current book I'm reading by tomorrow, and so on Monday I'll be able to start these new books. And the book I'm currently reading is Confidence Code. I feel like I have opinions about it. If you've read it, let me know what you thought. I'm not sure how I feel about it, if I'm being honest. So let's go back to the bullet journal and write down my choices. which is Practical Magic. That's like not enough room to write. Well, we're squishing it onto 2 lines. Sorry if that upsets anyone. It upsets me personally. The other one was called Effortless. Honestly, I really hope either of these books is good because, like I said, I did not enjoy the books that I read in March, so hopefully one or both of these is better. The last thing to do is to work on my quarterly planning here. So I already filled a few things in, as you can see, and I feel like things have already changed from the time that I filled this in just a few days ago, but that's okay. The way this works, if you haven't seen the other video about how I set it up, is that I put my plan in this top row, and I have a key down here to color code things a little bit, and then I'll put what actually happened in the row underneath. So it's okay that things change because I left myself room for that. Okay, just kidding. This is the actual last page I should be filling out because normally when I'm setting up for the month, I'll actually choose what habits I'm going to focus on, give myself some reasons for why I'm focusing on this main habit, etc. But as you'll see in the video next week, again, sorry that these are out of order, I don't know what I'm doing yet. I don't know what I want my focus to be. I'm of 2 minds. Either I try again with meditation or I just move on and try focusing on something else. And I don't know yet, so I'm just gonna leave this for now and think about it over the weekend. Okay, we're gonna jump back into Notion here and I'm going to do a little bit of my monthly planning and reset in Notion. We're going to go to this section here, the seasonal section. I'm going to start by opening up March and just go through this and see what's happening. And this is just a fun widget. It's like fun and also freaks me out. It's how much time you have left. So like you're at 100% of the month because this is the end of March, 25% of the way through the year. So end of Q1, which is exciting. This quarter, 100%, like I said, end of Q1, and life in general, based on like my own life expectancy that I put in, is 35%. That's terrifying, but I love it. Okay, so my focuses of the month were to get my monthly content batched ahead of time. This was for vacation. I did that. Focus 2 was just to enjoy vacation, which I actually did. And focus 3 was to keep adding to the Etsy shop, which in this case meant the Twitch Etsy shop. I kind of did this. I only really ended up adding one thing because I was on vacation for half the month. So, but that's okay. Reading list. So Confidence Code, Oracle. Okay, so Oracle, I finished. I did not love the ending. Confidence Code, I'm going to finish it tomorrow. I think I only have like half an hour left of the book, and I go for a half-hour walk every morning and listen to my audiobooks, so that will for sure be done. Actually, in future, what I may want to do is connect my library database to this section. So I may actually want to redo this monthly template a little bit, give it an update. I think I mentioned, I'm still working on my Notion and building it up to be what I need it to be. For life admin things, I actually just really didn't have anything. So content schedule, this is everything I posted this month for Patreon and Instagram. My Q&A or Ask Me Anything video was published, and the habit wrap-up is already scheduled. Monthly reset routine in progress. You're here with me right now doing it. How exciting. So that'll be the last of the content for March. So March 2022, monthly plan, done. Let's open a new, I forgot I already redid this template a little bit. Look at me go. Okay, so monthly plan. We're gonna start a new one for April 2022. I already gave it like pink hearts because we're springtime now and I just thought that was appropriate. Monthly quote. I may need to get back to you on that. I don't think I have a quote in mind yet. Maybe I'll be inspired by some of the new books I chose. So what are my focuses for the month? Okay, so basing this on how lost I felt at the beginning of the week, I think my focus is going to be redefining my direction career-wise. And like over the next month, puzzle it over, try to move in the direction that I want to move. Because I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing, but you kind of just got to do the thing and figure it out as you go, in my experience. Okay, that's a really big one. I feel like that's a big focus. Like maybe we don't need another 2. Maybe because that one's really heavy and big and life-changing, let's make the other ones a little bit lighter. So spring weather's coming. Let's focus on just enjoying the outdoors. Outdoors and seeing friends, because we've been in lockdown for so long and I feel like I would love to go for walks with some friends. For the third focus, Honestly, I don't know yet, and I feel like that's okay. I'm actually just going to leave that blank for now because I don't have all the answers at the moment. See, I did already connect these databases. Look at me go. I totally redid this and I forgot that I had. I'm actually going to rename this to currently reading because that is how it is filtered. So there we go. So Mr. Impossible is a Maggie Stiefvater book. Like I said, she's the author of my tarot cards as well. But this book I'm not reading on my own. I'm reading it with my boyfriend. So it's kind of when we get chances to, for a couple hours at a time, sit down together and read it. So it's taking a lot longer. So this one is an ongoing read, and it's why it is always on this list. And then there's Effortless, which we just added. Confidence Code will be done by tomorrow. I'll check it off and it will disappear from this list. And then Practical Magic we've just added. Life Admin. This is filtered to show me home and personal things I wanted to get done. Quarterly planning, monthly review, and monthly reset we're doing right now. Taxes, listen, it's gotta happen. Reconnaissance for Jenny. This is fun. My best friend is an author and she needs me to do some reconnaissance in the city because she's writing a book that's set in Montreal currently. So I need to go and like take some pictures and things for her for inspiration and information. Create a wrapping station. I feel like I don't care about this anymore. The idea behind this was just to have a wrapping station for gifts. Like you have a default wrapping paper you go to with some blank cards and things like that for whenever you need to like make a birthday gift or something, you just have that default. But honestly, I don't give that sort of gift. I actually hate gift giving. I know. I suck. I'm sorry. I hate receiving and I hate giving them. If I give someone a gift, I want it to be something like, I took you out to dinner. I don't want to buy you a thing. I'm sorry. Create a wrapping station. I'm actually going to delete this task. I just don't care anymore. I thought it was a neat idea. It's gone. And then curtains in bedroom, curtains in office. This has been on my list forever. I just need to hang curtains. I just am avoiding doing this and I don't know why. I'm like afraid to put holes in the wall or something. I don't know. Hopefully I can get that done this weekend and finally tick it off this list. So I actually need to change how this is filtered. Oh, actually, no, I don't. It's going to update itself as soon as it ticks over to the new month. So currently this is still showing all of March's tasks, but as of tomorrow, it will automatically update to show me all of April's content schedule. So that's it for that. One thing I forgot to do is just the fact that because March is finished now, I can tick this archive button and it's just going to disappear off that list. So you can see it's gone now. So the next thing we can do is from my templates, I'm going to select quarterly plan. I'm just going to title it, 2022 Q2. I had already updated the template to be a little bit more springy for this one. This template may change a bit too. I'm not entirely sure how I want to use this yet. Again, this was a template based on somebody else's and I'm trying to zhuzh it so that it becomes more my own. So I have this sort of promise to myself at the top, which is interesting. I don't know that it's particularly useful. I don't think I'm very reward driven, actually. I don't know if I'll keep that. Quarterly tasks, I think I need to change the filtering on this because it's only showing me things that are in my inbox, but I also don't have that many like quarterly tasks yet, but I'll work on that. Goal 1, goal 2, goal 3. So these all need to be set up and filtered as well. So I have 3 main goals for the quarter, but I also don't 100% know what all of that's going to be just yet. I think one of them might be to finally rebuild my website because it's been broken for a very long time. So let's say goal 1. Just change that to white so it stands out more. Filter to project and add tasks. Yes, I know to do that. That was just a note, so I remember how to actually use this. Once I actually do build that project in Notion, I will filter this view to show me the tasks for that project so that I can come back into this quarterly overview and see the 3 main projects that I'm working on for the quarter. But in the meantime, that's enough setup for that. The last thing to do will be a monthly review. March had a clover icon. Okay. So this is a little bit more personal, so I might do some of this off camera as well, but just so you can see how I do a monthly review. So at the top here, I just have this month was, and I'll just write a little summary, just my general feelings about it. Top 3 accomplishments. My accomplishments this month. Oh. So batching all my content before I left for vacation, I was very proud of that because I managed to do most of the content work for the entire month in the first 2 weeks. And secondly, taking a proper work-free vacation because I don't think I've done that in years. I've done a few trips, but they've always included doing work. So top 3 moments. I don't know what the top 3 are, but I know one of them was visiting the Miami Zoo while I was away in Florida. It was kind of magical. Plan future moments. Oh, this is a neat concept. So this template, and especially this concept for this section, is from Michelle B. I love her channel. She makes videos about productivity and has Notion tours and stuff as well. So if you're into that, definitely check her out. So for this plan future moments thing, it's so clever because she points out the fact that, at least for her, and I do relate to this as well, that you want to have these magical moments, like, I don't know, just nothing necessarily big, but just a picnic with friends or something like that. But you don't necessarily plan for it, then it's not going to happen. Like these moments don't just like fall into your lap, you know? So she actually makes a point to make that plan ahead of time. So 2 things I want to do for myself, my little magical moments of the month that I will actually plan, is to go to a cafe with a friend because I haven't been able to do that in forever, and buy myself a new plant and candle. I know that sounds really small, but I don't buy myself things, so that's what I would like to do. Books I read. See, this is something I should update as well. Now that I have the library section of my Notion, I should actually link it to that database. So that's something I'll update later. But the books I read this month, you saw it was Oracle and Confidence Code, and also at the very beginning of the month I finished Scorpio Races, which is another Maggie Stiefvater book. So in the sections at the bottom, I have what life lesson did I learn, how would you rate this month and why, and then reviewing your goals. So this is a good exercise to do to make sure that you're on the right track. So what is working, what is not working. And then at the very bottom here, based on what you've written above, so then what changes should I make? And it's just like a review to make sure that not only are you on track for your goals, but that you are on track towards the right goals. Because for me, I know I have felt like I've been going in the wrong direction and I need to change course. So this is a good exercise to do on a monthly basis to make sure that you are still in line with your goals. So that is it for my April reset. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Give it a little thumbs up if you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.